welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am non-anonymous weirdo, otherwise known as Alana, and today I decided I was going to just talk about me, wow, that sounded bad. I decided that I was going to talk about my process, like personally, in writing a book. Specifically, my book called A Story to Tell, which is a zombie novel. I'm so sorry if you can hear cars in the distance. I needed some fresh air in my room, so I left my window open. I decided to show off my lovely bookcase. It's not all of it. I have like more books over that way, and it's not showing all the books this way either. But because they're like right there. But yeah, I decided I'd talk about my process in writing, especially since I wrote it on Wattpad and I've been writing it for a couple of years. And just like kind of, I don't know, just I'm gonna talk about it all. And what made me want to make this YouTube video was about 2 weeks ago, well, exactly 2 weeks ago, I posted a YouTube video, but it wasn't like one of my normal YouTube videos. It was called Emergency Alert System Contagious Disease Warning Fake, which I made specifically for my book. So if you guys would like to see a tutorial on how to make, you know, a civil authority alert type of deal, then I can do that for you guys if you want. So just comment down below if you like a video like that. And also, before I go into this video, I have a Discord server which is in the description, along with my Wattpad profile, where you can find all my books that I'm writing currently or have written. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Or I don't know. I've always been an avid Walking Dead zombie fan, like for, not always, but like since I was in like, I'd say middle school, I've been like a fan of The Walking Dead. And then I got into like other zombie things like Z Nation. I love Zombieland, that's hilarious. And in honor of the video of today, I wore my Carl Grimes shirt because I thought that would be very appropriate for today's video. Okay, so my process with writing this novel is, so mine's not like most other people, like a lot of other authors. I kind of just went into it how I felt I wanted to. Like, I didn't plan out the whole story, I didn't plan out each chapter ahead of time. I'm just kind of like a freelance writer. I just write and do what flows the best for me. So that is what I personally decided to do. I had like an overall objective of what would happen at the end, but I'm not going to give it away in case you guys wanted to read it, but I actually changed what the end of my book would be like, because I realized it would flow better if it was in another book, like the second book. So I personally did not like plan specifically this, and that. But I have an idea of when certain characters are gonna die. I know when I want, you know, certain characters to have this realization or grow in this way or have this happen to them, etc. So like I didn't go into it fully blindly. Like I had an idea of how it would end, and like I had a general plot, but it was not specific because I wanted to be able to have wiggle room to be able to change it if I thought there would be something that'd be better for it, opposed to what I already had done. So that is why I personally, you know, didn't specifically plan out each chapter beforehand. That's just how I've always written. I feel like I write better that way because I'm just going from my creative outlet, just letting it flow. So, but everyone's different, so maybe with you have to plan it ahead of time and have everything set up like that. So it's all up to personal choice and personal preference. Now I'm going to actually go into developing my universe. So how I developed my universe, originally I wanted it to be very Walking Dead-esque. I even made it take place in, like, not in the world, but at around the same time in my dreams that I would one day have my book put into AMC The Walking Dead's universe as its own show. But I decided to like break off of that after I feel like I matured as a writer and kind of just put it in my own world. And I changed the time to take place, you know, in 2019, which is when I started writing it. So it has not been 2 years. Yeah, because I started writing it, I might have started writing it in 2018, but then, I don't know, I can't remember. But, sorry, it is very loud outside, like cars keep on passing by. But I changed it. I changed the zombies some recently, actually. Like, I've had like kind of like a revamp idea of like how I want my zombies to be, so they're not like inconsistent like a lot of shows end up making them. So my zombies, personally, in my universe, zombies don't exist. I mean, they might have like in undercultures, but they're not they're not like a huge thing in the world. Like, it's not like as popular as it is in our culture, personally. So I think of all my books as being in a huge multiverse, and that each book is in a single universe. Like, each different storyline place is in a different universe. So that's how I think of my books. And in that universe, for some reason, there were never zombie stuff made. That's why they call them infected, you know, whatever I have them listed as in the book. So my zombies, originally they were just like Walking Dead zombies, but they're very inconsistent with their zombies. Like, some are like the first season zombies and the zombies in like season 7, 100% different. My zombies, I decided to make them, and this is actually a recent development that I decided to like change. My zombies, they possess the strength that they would have had before they died, but as they go on, they start to deteriorate and get weaker. So that's why sometimes, you know, my characters struggle to fight the zombie off, and other times they don't, depending on how old the zombie is. And I thought that made way more sense. And also, in my world, unlike like, you know, the Walking Dead world, but similar to the Z Nation world, my zombies, when they start running out of food sources, and like, you know, other animals to eat, they're gonna start having cannibalism, believe. As funny as that sounds, because they're already, you know, doing cannibalism, it's even funnier because they're eating the other zombies. So like, I just decided personally that it makes sense. Like, if you're like really, like, you know, the Donner Party, they were so hungry they started eating, you know, the other people in their group. And I feel like the zombies would be the same way. They're pretty brainless, so of course they're gonna, you know, eat whatever they can. They just prefer fresh, not decaying meat. And guys, in no way is my book supposed to be realistic, and, you know, people are always trying to like make it so the zombies are realistic, like that they could exist in the real world, but I'm like, I don't see a point in doing that, because it's supposed to be my world that I'm making for you guys. So they're gonna be how I think they should be. And that's just my idea of that. Let's see, chapters. I used to think when writing chapters, especially since I write on Wattpad and a few other like smaller book websites, I always thought you had to have like 40, 50 chapter books, because that's what all the popular books had. But no, guys, you do not need to have, you know, that specific amount of chapters. You just have as many chapters as you feel comfortable with. Me personally, I have 36 chapters. They're around 2,000 to 3,000 words in each chapter. That's just my personal preference for writing it, because I feel like it gives enough detail, makes it interesting but not too long and boring. So just figure out what works for you. Maybe 1,000 words is all you can write. Maybe that's actually better for the flow of your story. So don't try to base your writing and your process on other people, because a lot of people, they're like you have to plan it out ahead of time, all of it. And I'm like, no, you don't. I don't plan my book out ahead of time. I mean, I have a general plot idea. Like Amber, who's one of my main characters, she wants to find her family. That's her big push. But I don't have a specific like, this is gonna happen first, then this, and then this. I mean, I've tried it and it just doesn't work for me. I much rather just write from my heart and write how I want and how I feel is necessary. So it's all up to personal preference. Don't worry about what other people do. Like, I've also struggled with point of view. I was like, recently I was debating with myself, should I really have written it from different perspectives? Should I have written it in third person instead, or just one person's perspective? But I stuck with the different perspectives from different people because I thought that was really a cool idea. And maybe if I think it's really necessary to fully explain what's going on, maybe I would do a third person chapter. Don't feel scared to kind of like change up what the norm is when writing a book, because it's all up to you. Like, don't be afraid to try something new, and who knows, maybe it will fail, but you're not going to know if it fails unless you try it first. So don't be afraid to like try new methods of your writing, because it's just not going to get you anywhere, because you're going to be stressing about it all the time. So my books, I'm still going to have different perspectives from different characters for those books in that universe. Okay guys, so something that is a really difficult process, especially if you're actively posting chapters for other people to view, is consistency. And that's something I struggle with a lot because I have a really busy life. You know, I'm making YouTube videos for 2 different YouTube channels. I'm in, you know, a special program at a high school I go to, which isn't even my home high school. It's like 30 minutes away from my home. So like I do a lot of stuff and I struggle to keep consistency, but consistency will get you, I think it'll help you as a writer and help you like flow with the story better. Like, I'm just going to go into First Steps a little bit, which is another novel which is in that universe. It's just some other characters are going to be in the second book of A Story to Tell. I've been writing chapters like that with them, and my views have gone up. Like in just 2 days, and I mean this isn't really a lot for a lot of people, but just a few days I got 25 views, and I think that's crazy because I've only written like 7 parts, you know, it's crazy. So when I became more consistent, I realized my viewership was going up and I was getting more people. And I mean, that's not what it's about, writing. It's like, I love doing it. But that is exciting when you have an increase in views. So I would keep consistency. It's very, very important if you want to get a higher view count, more people invested in your story. And of course, it's not all about views, but I mean, I know it's not all about views, but I do enjoy having more people watching because it means that all this hard work I'm putting into doing stuff is actually paying off and people are enjoying it, because I like entertaining people, and that's one way that I get to do it, by writing stories for other people to read. So just consistency is better than not being consistent, but don't freak out if you didn't get a part uploaded one week because you were stressed out, you had family issues or something like that, because it's not the end of the world. And it's much better to have a quality chapter that takes longer to, sorry, I just brushed my elbow up against the mic. It's better to have a quality chapter that takes longer to put out than a crappy chapter that's not going to, you know, invoke readers and make them like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next, and crazy stuff like that. So consistency is nice, and you try to stay consistent, but if you can't, it's not the end of the world. Just know that. We're actually I feel like I've covered a lot of stuff already. Alright, I'm going to talk about editing and stuff. So, sorry this video runs a little long. With editing my videos, with editing my book, what I'm doing is I'm making some edits within the Wattpad version of the book that I feel like are necessary to make the story better as a whole. Like, you know, changing some dialogue, making it sound more natural. But I'm also rewriting it completely, like typing it up all in a Google Doc, which I'm gonna in a book format, which I'm going to have friends peer evaluate it to make sure that it sounds good and if there's anything that needs improvement. Because I want to publish my book and I want it to be the best it can be, but I don't have a lot of money, so I can't get professionals to go and read my book. You gotta do what you can do. So that's what I do personally. I hand type it in a document, like retyping it, and then I will notice, oh wait, I made a mistake there, so I need to fix that. So that's what I do, and I suggest you guys do it too. And another thing that is very important when you're writing, especially on Wattpad with this book, is making sure you have a cover that'll look decent, that'll look like, be like, ooh, what's that? See mine? Sorry for the reflection, but this is mine. I feel like it's pretty interesting, and I also added, because I wasn't sure people realized it was a zombie book, so I added a story to tell season 1. Then I did a line, and then I said a zombie apocalypse story. I did the same for, first steps, which I'll talk about in another video when that is finished being written. And yeah, and another thing, I originally had this book as a story to tell, and then in parentheses ASTT number 1, so story to tell book 1. But I realized people might not realize that if I change the title of the book, for the second book, it might not get as many views, and people aren't going to be able to finish the story, because I stop it on a cliffhanger, sort of. I mean, it can end like that because it's how it ends. It's a good ending for them, but it's not the end of their story. So what I did, I originally was going to title the second book Time Will Tell, which I probably will title it when I sell it eventually. But for Wattpad, I just wrote a story to tell season 2. Because I realized that people aren't necessarily going to realize this is the same series if I have a different name for it. Especially since a lot of girls on there and guys who are reading it probably aren't going to be the most observant of it. They're not going to necessarily realize that that's the same series, same characters. So that is why I just titled it season 2. So yeah, that's really all I have for this video. I'm sorry if I rambled on some and maybe I repeated some stuff, but I don't make my YouTube videos on a script like a lot of people do. I just kind of go from with what's my heart saying, just like I write. So I just kind of go with the flow, kind of start out, write it, and kind of just go and speak as my heart pleases. So I just want to thank you guys so much. My book has reached almost 2,000 views, which is amazing. It's at 1,950, I believe. And my emergency alert that I made and posted a YouTube video for, it has reached in overnight, guys. It reached it gained 100 views one night, and I think that the algorithm of YouTube, it didn't pick up in the algorithm until the 9th, because I was looking, that's when the views started going up on it. And I went from 142 views yesterday, and now I'm at 200. I can find it. Now I'm at 239 views, guys. That is crazy, and I'm so happy that you guys that's crazy, guys. I was like, because it wasn't like that just last week. So I'm like, oh my gosh. That's the most views I've ever gotten on a YouTube video on here. So that's crazy, guys. So I just want to thank you guys for that so much. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not subscribed to it already. It'd be really appreciated. It'd also be appreciated if you gave this video a thumbs up, and if you commented if you have any more questions about my process, or if you want me to follow up with a video on my other stories, or if I don't know, just put anything in the comments you'd wish to put. And of course, I have my Discord and my Wattpad in the description, so feel free to check out my book and my Discord. And in case you guys wanted to know, the current book I'm reading, Anne of Green Gables, it is one of my favorites. I just love the movies from the 80s. I love the current Anne with an E. This is my everything, guys. So I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm reading currently. So yeah, see you guys in my next video. Know God, find freedom, and make a difference, guys. Bye!